White House release published Monday, September 8, 2025. President Trump's top 100 victories for people of faith. Since taking office, President Donald J. Trump has taken major actions to support the faith community. He reversed previous policies and built on his first term's legacy. President Trump protected religious liberty, fought anti-Christian and anti-Semitic bias, ended government targeting of people of faith, expanded school choice, and protected parental rights. He ended divisive DEI policies, stopped taxpayer funding for abortion, restored free speech, and stood with Israel. Key actions include creating the White House Faith Office and Centers for Faith in every department. He formed a Religious Liberty Commission and a task force to fight anti-Christian bias. He issued executive orders to combat anti-Semitism and protect religious liberty. President Trump pardoned Christians and pro-life activists, repealed regulations that violated religious liberty, and supported religious charter schools at the Supreme Court. The Department of Justice protected religious speech and investigated anti-Semitism. He rescinded speech codes for military chaplains and restored disaster relief for faith-based groups. Federal agencies canceled grants to universities that did not protect Jewish students. President Trump secured a settlement with Columbia University over civil rights violations. He condemned anti-Semitic attacks, ended government weaponization against people of faith, and restored free speech. He launched investigations into debanking, based on religious beliefs. President Trump honored religious holidays and leaders from many faiths, hosted events at the White House, and issued proclamations for religious observances. He supported school choice for faith-based schools, and took steps to close the Department of Education. He ended radical indoctrination in schools, vaccine mandates, and reinstated school discipline policies. He reformed accreditation for faith-based institutions and supported parental rights at the Supreme Court. The Department of Education ordered schools to give parents access to education records and remove all DEI programming from public schools. President Trump issued an executive order keeping men out of women's sports and created a Title IX team to protect female athletes from gender ideology. President Trump issued executive orders affirming two sexes and protecting children from gender transition procedures. The Department of Justice supported states' rights to ban gender transition drugs from minors at the Supreme Court. The Department of Health and Human Services reported on the harms of such procedures and launched a whistleblower portal. HHS clarified that gender dysphoria is not a disability under federal law. President Trump enforced the Hyde Amendment, ending federal funding for elective abortion. He reinstated the Mexico City policy, stopping funding for organizations promoting abortion overseas. Funding for abortion for illegal immigrants and at VA hospitals ended. President Trump shared pro-life messages at the March for Life and supported the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. The One Big Beautiful Bill included pro-family measures like expanded child tax credits, adoption credits, paid leave credits, investment accounts for newborns, and defunded abortion providers. President Trump signed the Take It Down Act to protect families from online exploitation. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. committed to end federal funding for research using fetal tissue from abortions. The FDA will review mifepristone. The Department of Justice supported states' rights to defund abortion clinics. The State Department renewed membership in the Geneva Consensus Declaration. The U.S. withdrew from the World Health Organization and deactivated reproductiverights.gov. The CDC website now suggests adoption when users search for abortion. President Trump reinstated service members discharged over COVID-19 vaccine mandates, including those with religious objections. He ended policies allowing service with gender dysphoria and eliminated race-based and sex-based discrimination in the military. He ended diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the federal government and dissolved the White House Gender Policy Council. President Trump ended the Commission on Court Reform and is planning a celebration for the 250th anniversary of American independence. Vice President Vance was directed to restore truth in American history. Agencies must ensure foreign aid aligns with American interests. The State Department instituted a one-flag policy at embassies, and the VA now allows only American state or military flags at its facilities. President Trump replaced Kennedy Center board members over concerns about radical ideology. He appointed Governor Mike Huckabee as ambassador to Israel and supported Israel during its conflict with Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was welcomed as the first world leader to visit the White House in President Trump's second term. The Department of Justice launched Joint Task Force October 7 to seek justice for victims of the Hamas attack in Israel. Sanctions were imposed on the International Criminal Court for issuing arrest warrants for Israeli leaders. The U.S. withdrew from several United Nations agencies due to anti-Israel sentiment. President Trump appointed leaders to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Council and helped secure the release of hostages held by Hamas. Operation Midnight Hammer was launched to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Thanks for listening. The full source material for this summary is in the description below.